Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Well, hello. Are you happy today? Are you happy? I'm happy because it's raining out. And well, I just love when the grass and the trees and the plants get fed by the natural earth watering. It's just so lovely. So, join me in a cup of coffee today. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. So, we're going to do a couple of things here. I chose an article to read to you today that I've written. It's called Embracing Freedom and Self-Discovery, the Shamanic Blessing. And then after the reading, I am going to just demonstrate a little release and renewal ritual that is very simple and you can do if you will. So grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of water, grab your matcha, whatever it is that you particularly like to do at this particular time when you're going to hear a little bit of a story. And I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope you're doing well on this Wellness Wednesday. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. I see the comments. Someone said, good night. Good night. This could be your bedtime story. How about that? Okay. Again, at the end of this, we will have a download that you can have about the release ritual that we are gifting to you. And these lives during this month of September are just simple reset tools that I'm offering as a contribution. There's a lot of change going on out in the world. There's a lot of interesting energies in the world right now. And then, this month of September is a very big portal opening, releasing and cleansing, releasing, letting go, closing the door, opening to new identities. And honestly, if you've been feeling like you don't know if you're coming and going or what you're doing, or you're looking around at your world and you're just like, I'm not really liking what's showing up here, but I don't exactly know how to change. These tools might be a contribution to that. And if you're in a completely different space and you're like, yeah, everything is great in my world, let's keep it going. Because as you know, life it can be like a roller coaster, but it doesn't need to be one of those free fall drops all the time. It can actually just be little blips. And you can learn how to flow. I call it when life gets lifey. Okay, and that's a big recovery world phrase. When life gets lifey, it's just life. Stuff happens every single day that we are all having to deal with, expected and unexpected. So I wanted to read this one today on Wellness Wednesday and do a little ritual afterward in honor of the month of September, the reset, the 999 portal. Also, it's the 24th of September when we hit tomorrow, the 25th, and then also the 27th, which also equates to the number 9. There's a lot of closures, completements, karmic debts. A lot of the energy that is coming up right now is from like 12 years ago. And there are karmic closures happening right now, which could actually be a little crazy making. It's not always like bells, whistles, unicorns, and rainbows and sparkles. Okay. I always say that, whoever told you that getting conscious, changing your world was easy, right? We all have patterns, habits, generational traumas, known or unknown, that can be plaguing our system. And I just have the point of view, join me or don't join me in this, that we are here in this 100-year time that we get on this planet to clean up some things, to actualize a lot of things, hopefully, and to move on and move our family on and move our lineage on and move our uh, how do I say this? Our own empowerment and our own gifts to the world forward during this lifetime. And 100 years is actually, some people would say 100 years. God, I'll be happy if I make it to 70 or 80. Well, I just have this opinion, 111 is my target date in this lifetime. I think that would be just so wonderful. 111, bye-bye. I'm going to sleep now. Maybe I'll see ya, maybe I won't. And for me, that means, let's see, I'm 55 now. I'll be 56 this November. So I'm halfway, getting to the point of like halfway to that point. So I got like half of my life left to live. And man, I feel like I've done so much and I'm so grateful. And, I simply smile so much more than I ever thought I would in this world. And I've got the next half of my lifetime, assuming I make it to 111, which I believe I will, to do whatever's next. And I'm so excited for that because the foundation of what I put in my own little world has really set me up for anything. But I also know that it's divinely guided and divinely honored, and there's such a thing called divine timing. So I get a little frantic inside sometimes when it's not showing up exactly the way that I like it and exactly the way that I want it. Any of you feel that way too? But then I always come back to center and I'm like, if it was meant to be, it would have already occurred. If it was supposed to have happened, it would have already been. What's the next right step that I can take to move myself in the direction that I really energetically am aligned, soul, spirit, body, mind, forward? And really, that's what I do every single day. Ask the same question. What's the next right step? Good orderly direction. Do the best that I can. Give as much as I can here in my work, in the behind the scenes work, in my family, in my house, in the land that we are stewards of, all of that every single day. And we just do the best that we can. And if you could do it without worry, anxiety, depression, all this stuff that a lot of times we come into this life with, even better. So before I just decide to talk the whole time, let me get to this article and see how it works for you. Shamanism has been a very important experience and study in my lifetime. In my own personal work, I have had many, many lifetimes that I have recalled and gone through, whether it be through hypnotherapy or theta healing or past life regressions or any, all rebirthing. I can go on and on and on. I know that, and I have seen, felt, and experienced many, many different lifetimes in the fourth plane of existence, which is where the shamanism really comes from, or at least the energy of the gifts of shamanism comes from, at least from what I have been made aware of. And I found this shamanic blessing one time, about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. And it just spoke to me so much about family and history and generational trauma. And it reminded me of this first class I took in my doctoral program in San Francisco, good old San Francisco, Saybrook Graduate School and Research Center. Woohoo! One of my first classes, and it's actually why I went to that school for my doctorate, was the psychology of shamanism. And man, I love that class. To this day, I can still remember the exercises in shamanic mythology, taking the body posture of my ancestors, going through on the female lineage, the male lineage, the Italian lineage, the Irish lineage, and all of that. And I really learned so much that about carrying in my body what wasn't even mine. And then that informed what many of you may know, and some of you that are new to me may not know, the set of books that I wrote: Radically Alive Beyond Abuse, How I Dealt with My Mother, Lies of Money, How I Dealt with My Father and what I learned, and my mother, and then How I Created My Own Financial Reality. Then how I moved through abuse to creating my life after abuse. And this is a very personal journey. And there's a lot of exercises in here, literally, of what I did to create my life after abuse. And it's special to me because I made sure I did not put this out or publish it until I actually was creating my life without abuse. And then about a year ago, a little over a year ago, this book came out, The Body of Change, which also has a journal entry in the back where you can have questions asked to you after each chapter. And it's a whole little workbook that starts a communion and a communication between you and your body as your ally. And the next one that I am in the process of writing right now is all about recovery and my own recovery story, working with clients with different addictions and subsequent dual diagnosis traumas. And I have a couple of other books after that, but the first 5 that I was downloaded to write are these ones that I've mentioned. Radically Alive Beyond Abuse, which is here. New cover, 2nd edition, changed a lot, updated some. But you know, if you're an author out there, if you've ever written anything, you know that you can keep rewriting. So I just decided to write another book. Lies of Money. And the pictures on the front of these books, they're all energetically related to my signature series called The Roar Method, which I'll be talking about on Friday this week. Creating After Abuse, and The Body of Change. But this article that I'm going to read to you today that I wrote is actually about shamanism. And I hope it is a contribution to you and to contributing to you to move beyond what you've made your story, but it may not actually be yours. It just may be a part of what you're connected to. So here we go. Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for being here. Embracing freedom and self-discovery, the shamanic blessing. Staring up at the moon from my childhood bedroom window, I begged God, this is a true story, and everyone out there to please not let me live a soulless life. I mean, I was 7, so I might not have used those words, but I didn't write this when I was 7. I just had the memory when I was 7. Even at age 7, I didn't know how, but I knew there was something more than what was right in front of me. Beyond the abuse, beyond the violence, beyond the pain and terror I was so accustomed to. In the quiet of the night, I loved staring up at the moon. I still do. I still wake up at 4, well, not still. Probably for about 15 years now, I wake up about 4 a.m. and purposely, so because I love that time in the morning and it's very, very quiet. And when the moon is out there, I can go outside and just commune. In the quiet of the night, I love staring up at the moon and listening for whatever lay beyond the mind, past the shouts, the screams, and the agony of this existence. Again, this is my point of view from a 7-year-old. And the moon listened. It still does. In fact, it glowed and shimmered and danced and cradled my tears, heavy and deep. When I awoke, I would first look outside to see what the elements were doing that day. A snow day bright, shimmering, sunlit rays, a bit blustery, shifting things here and there, or wet and wild with storms. It's a little wet and wild today. Isn't that funny? Then I watched the men and women in carefully pressed suits striding briskly past on their way to catch the train. I grew up in New York, right down from the train station into the city, Madison Square Garden or Grand Central Station. And so every morning when I looked out the window, someone would be walking by, and a lot of people, men and women in their suits going to work in their briefcase. The women, though, always had their trainers on, their sneakers, and their heels poking out of their briefcase. One day it dawned on me, no one was smiling, not a one. I remember this day like it was yesterday. They all looked like I felt. Gazing remorsefully down at them, I said aloud, God, whatever I do when I grow up, please, please, please let me always smile and enjoy the day and make a contribution somewhere, somehow. That's what I'm doing with these resets. Just a contribution. There's nothing I need. There's nothing I'm jockeying for. There's nothing that I need from you. This is just like, how can I contribute? With that, I left the window with the queasy feeling of a nut in my gut and got ready for school. Oh, the joy. This internal world is where my gifts and authenticity first developed, between me and the moon, the elements, and God. I wonder if some of you out there had that same experience. I always felt different, aware of things. I still do. I just don't really care so much anymore. I think difference is a superpower. But at 7, I really felt like an alien on this planet. I always felt different, aware of things no one seemed to discuss, or at least not in Garden City, New York, where I grew up. Yet I never shared this world with anyone until my senior year at Fairfield University in Connecticut, when Dr. Judy Primavera, if you're out there, hi, joined the psychology faculty. It was my senior year. True story. One day after class, she pulled me aside and said something no one had ever asked me in all my 21 years. She looked me in the eye. I thought I was in trouble because if anybody paid attention to me in my childhood, it was because I was in trouble. I was going to get whacked, smacked, dragged across the floor, punched, thrown down the stairs. And I say it laughingly, not because I think any of that stuff was funny. It's more particularly like I do use a sense of humor to talk a lot about my experience in the past. It is so far behind me now that it's my right to laugh at what I want to laugh at. The incredulous nature of what I've survived, how I've thrived, and I don't even know what to call what I'm in now other than the Renaissance, let's say, just came to me. She said, Lisa, are you okay? And looked me straight at me. She really asked me. I literally wanted to go, who's she talking to? But I didn't. I just started crying. She was the first person in all my 21 years that ever noticed that I might not be okay. And the truth is, I wasn't. Absolutely unequivocally not okay. And not one person, place, situation, or event in my lifetime, in my life up until that point, ever asked me, except Dr. Judy Primavera. I had no words. I was shocked. I was terrified. Like a burst dam, tears streamed uncontrollably down my cheeks. Clearly, I wasn't okay. But until that day, only the moon and God and the elements had ever connected with me the way Judy did. And she'd struck gold. From that day forward, I understood intuitively the power of reaching out to others with profound compassion. And I still do that today. Every single day at the beginning of every session, how can I contribute to you? What are we going to work on? To this day, people are like, you're asking me how you can contribute to me? Yeah, that's the only reason for my existence on this planet. Now, I don't mean that like it sounds. I know there are other reasons, but honestly, in the work that I do, I honestly just want to contribute. because I needed that contribution myself. And I know someone like Dr. Judy Primavera, who just asked Lisa, "Are you okay?" What that did for me made me realize stuff that I'm still talking about. Let's see, that was 21 in 1991. Here we are in 2025. A long time. It made its impact. From that day forward, okay, I already read that. I would never be content to just stay silent again, much to many of my relationships' chagrin. But I am not a silent person. If you're in my world, you're going to hear it. A new path unfurled before me, one where I could contribute to collective healing, one whose call I could not deny. But the way was not easy. Growing pains, as you all know, never are. The day I walked into my first doctoral counseling course, The Psychology of Shamanism, my ordinary life and the spiritual realm irrevocably melded together. This is when I knew I could exist on the planet and do something. Up until then, and literally until my senior year graduation in Fairfield University, Connecticut, I literally had no idea what I was going to do in this life or why I was even here. As I began exploring the intricacies of personal mythology, I suddenly felt truly at home, at peace for the first time in my life, embracing shamanic inquiry. We embarked on a journey of emulating our ancestors, taking up their posture and positions for generations back, starting with our biological parents. During these exercises, it dawned on me that my body carried the energy of my ancestors, awakening me to the patterns, habits, and awarenesses that descended from them, not me. Do you know that if you have a chronic pain in your body, that it doesn't go away, and you've done chiropractic, energy work, medication, maybe you've even had surgery, maybe you're doing stem cells. Do you know that the reason why it may not be changing is because you think it's yours? When I first learned that, I was like, like those cartoons that I grew up with. I don't even know if they still exist. I was like, wow, that's not even mine. Pay attention to these things in your own body as you move forward, and maybe re-listen to this again, because this is just a contribution if you want it. If not, move on to something else. There's plenty of doom scrolling around. I suddenly felt truly at home, at peace for the first time in my life. Intrigued and craving a deeper understanding, I enrolled in the school's brand new spirituality certificate program. And those of you that are listening, if you have comments about what I'm saying, or you want to just share something that you're noticing, feel free to put it in the comment. Whether even if you're watching this after I'm not here live, I will see it. Either my team will reflect it to me, will respond to you, or I will actually respond to you. Intrigued and craving a deeper understanding, socially engaged spirituality. The moment I first laid eyes on the addition, my body leaped, reminiscent of staring at the moon as a child. And I could only take it as a powerful sign that this was meant to be the next milestone in my spiritual journey. Between this curriculum and other spiritual studies, I engaged in fire walks and native ceremonies, traveling across the country with my cohort. Oh my God, could I tell you a story about my first fire walk? Oh God, and I mean this in the best way possible, because I'm going to reference a different culture. I was literally in Mexico, and I literally was like this Mexican jumping bean after it. I was so high from the energy, and I really felt spirit pull me over the fire, and I did not get burned. And the person that went over the fire, I'll never forget it, because I felt terrible for him, and he was such a beautiful man. Still is. He got like third-degree burns on his feet. And that terrified me. But when you're connected to the spirit, I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm saying that I watched that, I saw that, and my mind was like, hell no, we will not go across the fire. That goes against everything I've ever learned. You know, we learned when we were kids. Put your hand over the fire, you're going to get burned. But there was something in that moment that I walked around that fire in that fire walk, and I heard the spirit say, now. And I didn't do it because I was scared. And I went around one more time, and every time it got worse. And my heart was just like this, and this, and this, in my head. And I was like, no way. Yes, you got to go. No way. You got to trust. Yes, you got to go. No, yes, no, yes. Finally, when I got around to the front again, something just pulled me right over the fire, literally. And I flew. At the end, the other side of the firewalk, I started jumping up and down. I had all this energy, like the Shakti spiritual energy. And I was like, I did it. And I didn't get burned. That's when I knew that also firmly implanted in my body that we are not alone here. And if I stay in the concrete mind, I'm going to never actualize what I'm here to actually actualize. And I don't just mean a physical actualization. I mean a spiritual actualization. I mean the embodiment of truth, authenticity, and love. I mean the embodiment of the ministry that I'm here to do, the books I'm here to write, the family I'm here to love and to grow with. All those things came very true to me, that there was something else besides the mind and the body, spirit and soul. We convened, conversed, celebrated, and ventured out together. We sat in circles seeking an equilibrium between the physical and the spiritual, always remembering that there is so much more than merely what meets the eye. Over time, I gradually reclaimed my autonomy, free will, and choices. I began releasing myself, connecting my core purpose and the things that hold genuine meaning for me. But first, I had to forgive, let go, heal, and relearn how to love myself. Boy, was that a process. Now I can honestly say the love I harbor inside my soul has built new worlds for everyone around me, both those treasured friends who reside in my inner circle and the people I touch in my work. The journey has been far from easy, but it is mine, as yours is yours. And I own it fully, welcoming these challenges as a learning, spiritual human being. Since first discovering my own spirituality, I have accepted a new mission, leading others to the same peace and harmony I have found. Honestly, if I had to say what my ministry is, it's that. Leading others to the same peace and harmony I have found. Beyond abuse, beyond addiction, beyond generational trauma, beyond the mind, and beyond the unconscious beliefs that we all have running in the back of our mind, locking us into patternings of behaviors, relationships, financial situations, physical situations, illnesses, diseases that honestly have more root to the past and to what isn't yours that you just made yours. At least that's what I found. In many cultures around the world, shamanic practices hold deep wisdom, offering profound insight into the human experience. These ancient traditions provide us with the tools needed to connect with our inner selves, release past burdens, and embrace personal growth. One such shamanic blessing, translated from Nahuatl, imparts powerful messages of liberation, self-acceptance, and the importance of embracing our own unique paths. In this article, in other words, free will, in this article, we will explore the profound wisdom underlying this blessing and reflect on how these ideas can guide us toward a life of freedom, authenticity, and unbounded love. Here's the blessing, the ancient shamanic blessing. And I really love this. I release my partner from the obligation to complete me. You're welcome to say this out loud if you're watching, when you watch this. I release my partner from the obligation to complete me. I release my parents from the feeling that they failed me. I release my children from the need to bring me pride so they can write their own paths to the rhythm of their hearts as it whispers in their ears. I lack nothing. I learn from all beings all the time. I thank my grandparents and ancestors who came together to allow me to be alive and follow my path today. I release them from past failures and unfulfilled desires, knowing they have done their best to travel their way of living with their standard of consciousness. I strip my soul before their eyes. That's why they know I don't hide or owe anything. I must be faithful To myself more than ever, by walking with heart wisdom, I know that I am fulfilling my life project free from family loyalties that can disrupt my peace and happiness. This detachment is my responsibility. I surrender the role of the Savior to be the one who unites or meets the expectations of others. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! I cherish my essence, my way of expressing it, even if not everyone can understand me. I honor you, I love you, and recognize your innocence. I honor the divinity in me and you. This ancient blessing, shamanic blessing, embodies profound wisdom and self realization. It speaks to the essence of personal liberation, acceptance, and understanding. This blessing encourages the release of burdens and expectations. You have to be willing. Like, think of the HOW acronym: honest, open, and willing. Those are three qualities that everybody needs, in my opinion, of working with people and myself. Working with people for now close to 33 years and working on myself for almost close to 56 years now. Honesty, openness, and willingness. Without those, you're not going to really change anything. You're just going to force it, but it might not be complete genuinity. By embracing these teachings, you can find peace, happiness, and fulfillment on your life journey. I'm going to pause there in the interest of just, if you're going to rewatch this at some point, the blessing is right at the end right now. Note to self, it's 32 minutes in. Okay. So what I want to do now is offer a little releasing ritual, and this can be downloaded. It's called the Release and Renewal Ritual. You might need a pen, you might need a paper. You can just listen at first and then re-listen to actually work yourself through the ritual. So the first step, and they're going to put the steps up on the screen here. The first step is to choose your release. Second step is to call in renewal. And the third step is to seal with gratitude. Okay, so choose your release. Very simple. Write down one expectation, belief, or burden from family, from society, or even yourself that you're ready to let go of. Go ahead, write it down now. Like, ready to let go of. You're going to be honest about it, open about it, and willing. Place your hand over your heart once you get it and say out loud, I release you with love. Just like the shamanic blessing I read. That's the first phrase. I release. You have to be willing to release. If you're grappling with something like a resentment or a regret or a rejection, and it's not going anywhere, no matter how, and it's been a while, you might want to choose that. Just choose it, and I release you with love. Now you call in the renewal, step 2. Write down one truth or intention you want to embody instead. So let's say I hate my father is one of them, or I hate my partner, or I hate my boss, or I hate my body. Place your hand over your heart and say, I release the hate with love. I release the hate of my body. I release the hate of my father. I release the hate of my boss. I release the hate of my partner. And I release you from my body with love is essentially what you're saying. You're sprinkling a little compassion, dissipating the negativity, and you're amplifying by saying, I release with love, kindness, like a battery. 2 AA batteries give more charge than one. Step 2, call in the renewal. Write down one truth or intention you want to embody instead. So if you don't want to hate, what do you want to do? I honor my truth. I honor my essence. I honor my boundary. I honor that I was hurt by my father, my boss, my partner. I honor that I treated my body terribly. And I honor that now I choose to be in alliance and in allegiance with my body and see it as my ally. Speak it out loud and let your body respond, like stand tall, breathe deeply, or move in a way that feels expansive. So like one of the reasons why I do a lot of these lives standing up and you see me moving like this is I'm always kind of energetically moving with the energy. If I feel like something is too constricting or tight in my body, I always get up and move. That's like the somatic release. So I do this a lot, hand on my heart. You can't see this, hand on my lower abdomen. And that's one thing you can do. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and I honor my essence, whatever it is. I honor my body. You can, I love this too, the bilateral stimulation of the butterfly hug, where you can call in the renewal this way. Some people really like to move and like move their arms and do some somatic release. Honestly, if you just move a little bit, you will change the energy and the frequency of any stuckness you have going on. And I know if you're suffering through like a thing like depression or treatment-resistant depression or severe anxiety, in those moments, you might not want to move. So I just ask for a 1 degree shift of movement somehow. And it's not really because I'm asking, it's just part of the procedure here. Call in the renewal. Movement actually helps that. And then the step 3, very simple, is to seal with gratitude. Close your eyes. Imagine roots beneath your feet and whisper 3 things you're grateful for today. So I have one hand on my heart center. I have one hand on my lower abdomen. My feet are firmly planted on the floor. I'm imagining my grounding cords coming out through the center of my feet, hooking down to the billions of year-old roots beneath me, billions of miles down, not just like 5 feet, like all the way down. I want to get really, really, really deep into those roots and receive the energy of the earth up into my body. And my gratitudes for today will simply be, I'm grateful that I can stand and speak this, have it be recorded, and perhaps someone or someone's can receive a contribution that really helps them and contributes to them today. Maybe even changes their frequency. Maybe even lifts a little bit of a burden off them. That's a big gratitude for me, always, every single day. Gratitude for myself is, boy, I've been busy since 4 a.m. this morning, and it has been a busy morning. So I am grateful for everyone on my team and everyone here in my house and all the things that we did today, because it moved a lot of energy. And I'm also grateful for, this is kind of fun, some of the new sound bed equipment that I got. Literally a sound bed with Schumann resonance frequencies and a massage table in my office for the hands-on body work that I do. And I have some clients coming here tomorrow. So I get to practice all of that and change the frequency of their body. And I'm super excited for that because that's what I'm here for. How can I contribute to you? So those are my gratitudes. Very simple. So choose your release, call in renewal, seal with gratitude. My team is putting in the chat right now some resources for you. There's the download from this, the shamanic blessing, the release and renewal ritual. And I thank you for your time today. I hope it was a contribution to you. And if there's anything that we can contribute to you, don't hesitate to reach out to customer care at drlisacooney.com or in the chat. All right, my friends, I will leave you with the following. If nobody has told you that they love you today, I do. Now go be great. Thanks for tending. Thanks for joining. And thanks for showing up for you. Bye for now. See you tomorrow on, I forget what tomorrow is, but it's Thursday. Thoughtful Thursday. That's what we're doing tomorrow. That's what it is. Bye for now.